Hey, everybody, we are back with another chapter breakdown of the Book of Boba Fett. We will be talking about the Tribes of Tatooine. Um, I wanted to get this out a little sooner. We just had a really busy week, but we'll look at maybe getting these out maybe Thursdays, Fridays at the latest while the show is out. Of course, I am with my two awesome Star Wars loving co-hosts live from Hoth. Ryan, what's going on, man?
How's it going? Yes, it's very cold. 0 degrees in the room that I'm in. So 32 Fahrenheit with blizzard going on outside. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. So if you need to gut a tauntaun and get inside and get nice and cozy, just let us know.
Yes.
We'll cut out. And of course, here in Sacramento with myself is the big smooth Ryan. What's going on, man?
Well, his name's Alex, but
Yeah, sorry. I had too much coffee.
but yes, not quite the sands of Tatooine this time of year, but definitely a bit warmer than where Ryan's at.
Yes, that's awesome. I'm just going to leave that there. It's okay. You know, I'm looking at Ryan.
Ryan's at.
Yeah, we want Ryan to come to Sacramento so we can all record live and together, but that'll work later. So, but like I said, we are going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 2, The Tribes of Tatooine, and I'm just going to give a quick synopsis of the episode. A very good episode, in my opinion. This was directed by newcomer to the Mandoverse, Steph Green. She's done shows, the recent Watchmen on HBO, Preacher, Luke Cage. Let's see, the L Word, and what a Scandal, just to name a few. So a lot of TV experience there. Written and created by Jon Favreau. The theme by Ludwig Göransson, but the main score again was Joseph Shirley. And this episode was another 50-50. I got really excited when I saw the time of 52 minutes. I'm like, oh, sweet, we're going to get a long one. So we got a tale of two halves where Boba starts off with a Finnick with the one leading or surviving member of the Nightwind assassins, and they pretty much question him and give him the old rope-a-dope fake Rancor in the cage. Tells them that it was the mayor, the mayor. So they go to see the mayor. Some of my favorite lines were, if he doesn't want to speak, he doesn't need his head. It kind of shows that Boba Fett's still kind of a badass, and even though he wants to lead with respect, if you don't respect and tell him what he wants to hear, he's going to off with his head. So they go to the mayor. Very cool scene. The mayor of Mok Shaiz was voiced by Robert Rodriguez. Thorian, like Doc Undar from Galaxy's Edge. Very cool seeing them with a translator speaking that, and basically tells them, well, we didn't hire him, but you might want to check out Garza's sanctuary, the casino building that we saw before. And then we find out the twins are in town. Twins meaning the Hutts, Jabba's cousins, and they lay claim on Tatooine. And Boba doesn't like that. It's a little stare down. We meet the Wookiee warrior, Gladiator, previously only seen in Marvel Comics, Black Chrysanthemum. And this dude looks pretty badass. I'm sure we're going to talk about him. And then they part ways. That's when we leave that half of the show. Get back to a flashback where basically Boba earns his keep with the Tuscans and has some pretty cool ceremonial scenes in here, and very cool action, very unexpected comedy. And what I thought was the strength of the show was this whole flashback scene. So first initial reaction, Ryan, what did you think of this episode?
It was good. I like the High School Musical number at the end.
Jeez.
I don't. Did you see my comment on?
You did, yeah. The Mando show.
Yeah. It was fun. I like that. I always just see hot toys. Like, oh, they can make this. They can make this. So
yes,
that's Wookiee would be a sick hot toy. Except they're not very good at Wookiees, but
because of the fur.
Yeah, just they always look like their face looks swollen. I'll send you some pictures of Chewbacca. They don't look great, but
okay. And your High School Musical fire scene was actually my favorite part of the whole entire episode. I'll talk about it later.
I don't know High School Musical. I'm wondering what that is.
Oh, just like the dance number at the end. So I just gave it a Disney tie. Like around the fireplace. Okay. I just was made it funny.
What about you, Alex? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you had more? Sorry.
I was just saying, yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Very cool. Alex, what did you think about this episode?
I thought it was good. I'm kind of torn on the the flashbacks and the current, I like them both, but the flashback part of the episode and it being such a long episode almost made me forget everything that happened before it. Almost like there were two separate episodes or something. So as I was saying, I didn't get a chance to get a second watch in before this recording. And so thank you for that amazing synopsis. It was a good episode. I think I'm more interested to see where the current timeline of Boba Fett and Fennec is going than the flashbacks. But with the flashbacks, I think there's more hope of seeing characters or creatures that we've known from previous Star Wars. So
and actually we got a lot of known creatures in this episode. We got Rhodians, we got the Max Rebo, we got Tuscans, of course, and even the Pikes that we've known in Clone Wars and Rebels. But then we saw for the first time in Solo when they go get the spice on Kessel. But we've never seen the Pikes unmasked, so that was kind of cool. And they're pretty much just fish people. So then of course we get the Twi'leks and a lot of old school creatures, even more that I can't even mention, the Hutts, of course, and the Wookiees.
And speaking of old school creatures, there was a teased old school creature in the beginning part that you were mentioning in the synopsis, where he was interrogating the assassin. I think we had conversed earlier in the week and how we didn't want to be spoiled by what previous Star Wars character may be in it. And it was the Rancor, or should we say it wasn't the Rancor? But that whole moment was really cool. Flashback to seeing him get dropped down there in the cage. And I think personally, as soon as he went down there, I was like, that Rancor is not alive.
Yeah.
But sure enough, for the show, it was enough to get him to talk. So
but he didn't know that. And just that whole scene leading up to it, that I love the dialogue of them, like, he's a Night Wind. They don't speak, or they won't give up to information to any man or something. And even Fennec's like, oh, they're overpaid or they're overpriced. They're nobody, because she's a badass herself. But
reminded me of the Unsullied from Game of Thrones a little bit.
Yeah, that's why the way he even leaned into the blade. One thing I kind of want to go to is, like I said, I was instantly hooked on the present day stuff that was going on with the mayor, with everything, just the intensity. And then I was kind of bummed with, like, oh man, they're leaving us here, with a flashback. But then, like I said, the flashback I thought was great. We see him fighting, learning how to fight with the warrior, the main Tuscan warrior, and he's pretty much got, she's got the force effects, completely stocked gaffy stick, and he's got the little Walmart $12 piece of wood. But just that whole little scene of them, and you see them kind of farming and stuff, and then we get that little train heist, with the spice train. We don't know it's spice yet. We just know it's a train coming through the desert, and they just start blasting all the Tuscans in the camp. And then, he wants to figure out what's, he wants to investigate, what's going on, and, obviously keep them from just killing the Tuscans as they pass. And one thing that we get to, because once he convinces the chief to let him go with a gun and a stick, he goes, and we find out that's actually Tashi Station, briefly mentioned in A New Hope, with where Luke, I want to go to Tashi Station and pick up some power converters. And so when they go to the bar, we see, I brought this up on the Mando show, we see like a couple at the bar. Go ahead.
Sorry, which place was Tashi Station?
Where the speeder bike gang was.
Where he got them all in that little bar, and the dude was like, "This isn't right."
Yeah, because basically, and I thank you for reminding me, though, because I skipped a minor part. But after the ambush from the train, we see the speeder bikes at night, just riding by. So he's like, well, we to keep up with the train, we got to see we need the bikes. So basically is like going to rob this gang. But there's a couple that was there, and the girl there, she really looked a lot like what we see from there's a Blu-ray deleted scene of A New Hope where Luke's there. You've seen pictures of Luke with his bucket hat and goggles, but that wasn't in the movie, but it was in the deleted scenes. And Biggs is there, and two other friends, and one of them's a girl. I'm like, oh, she looks just like her, the same hair. So I thought it was a Tatooine, just like a Tatooine style. Then after we recorded, we find out that it was confirmed that is actually Cammy and Fixer from that scene, that deleted scene. So that's a super, super deep cut that they added to the show.
That's pretty cool.
So, and it's on YouTube. I'll send it to you guys, but I think it's super cool. And the girl looks exactly like the one that played her in the 70s.
And Fixer is the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The guy who says, this isn't right.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
Super macho.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I was trying to get in with the Rancor stuff when there's no Rancor. I don't know if do you guys follow like Hasbro figures that were dropping and stuff.
Yeah.
So there was a Rancor that they were trying to back to come out, and they didn't meet enough backers just because it looked like a terrible figure. So people are saying it's like a nod to that because it was a really big thing in the toy community, but because it just didn't show up. So
yeah, it was the HasLab.
For
those of you like that, they started with the sail barge, and it's a full scale sail barge to the 3.5-inch figures, or the Black Series figures.
1/12 scale. Yeah,
but no, the 3-inch or the 6-inch.
No, it was the 3-inch. It's the 3-inch.
Yeah. So, but it's the what the true scale would be, and so the sail barge was the first thing that they did, and that it blew up. Its quote was, I'll just say 3,000, and it hit 5,000. Then they did the Razor Crest, same thing. That got record time, and this one was just about 1,000 backers short of not getting it, but it looked cool. But who wants? I mean,
it ran like $500 for like cardboard bones. They didn't even make them plastic, so everyone was just like, "No,
they're cardboard bones."
Yeah.
So, kind of going back though, but no, that was good. Boba beats up, old Clint Eastwood style, beats up all the biker gang in the bar, takes a swig of his, takes his drink. Bartender's nicely, just like the old westerns, just cleaning the counter and takes the bikes. So, which leads us to one of my favorite scenes is him teaching the Tuscan Raiders on how to ride speeder bikes. Like I said, there's not too much to this episode. It's just, some of the scenes were pretty long, a lot of build-up scenes, but I thought that whole training was pretty funny. Derek on our show brought up that it's funny because he goes to present the bikes to the chief, and all the Tuscans all of a sudden start just ripping them apart like it's scavenging and stuff. So, but the action of this was really cool. The train heist and everything. Was there anything that you guys really liked at all from this flashback scene? I'll start with you, Alex.
I don't want to get too far ahead into it, but my favorite part of the flashback scene was after the train heist and everything that went down. His journey to getting his gaffy stick made.
Yeah.
That whole thing was a trip with the little lizard and
acid trip.
I was the first thing that starts going through my head. I was like, this could be a fun adults only create your own gaffy stick in Galaxy's Edge, give you a little lizard gummy to take or whatever. You go wander around Galaxy's Edge for a while, come back with a tree branch you found, start hacking away with sharp objects.
Yeah, that is awesome. That would definitely have to be in Florida.
It wasn't what I expected at first. When he handed him the lizard, I was like, okay, he gave him like a little pet lizard, and then he picks it up and puts it in his nose or mouth, and I was like, oh, okay, we're going there.
Yeah, he blew. I don't know if he actually had a spice or if something else. And basically, spice in the Star Wars world is drugs, and so I don't know if that's what he had. Yeah. So when somebody says, "Oh, you're a spice runner," you're a spice. This basically saying you're a drug dealer, or a spice runner would be back in the Prohibition days, the moonshine, running moonshine down the highways, like the Dukes of Hazzards. Basically, that's what they did. They transported moonshine because it was illegal. So that's basically what a spice runner is. But yeah, so he blows something in Boba's face, and then the lizard just jumps right up his nose, which was funny because Boba's like, "Oh, I think I swallowed it." He's like, "No, that thing went up your nose, dude." Just like straight. So, but yeah, that was a trippy scene. That was really cool. Yeah, we could jump on that, but yeah, I got a real even kind of like Wakanda vibe when after they take the flower, T'Challa, and then he kind of has that little trip, in that little night air. So that was really cool. It was cool seeing the old Boba Fett, when it was going back and forth between him and the Fett in his suit and everything. Yeah, that whole scene was really cool. Then grabbing his stick and how they, I mean, you always think that the gaffy stick is just a weapon, but just seeing the I can't think of the word right now, but basically the
ceremony, the process.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That it wasn't that. It was actually like a rite of passage to have that weapon. And that's what they use it for everything. I want to go back to the train real quick. I mean, some of that action was really cool. And we saw some real, one of my favorite scenes was actually the warrior, Tuscan. Once, you kind of see riding through, then sees the opening, heads straight to the opening, dives right into the window. Instantly, you see one of the pikes fly out, and just that whole scene of them taking out everything. One thing we found out after this episode was that the warrior, I don't know if the character itself is a woman, but the person portraying the warrior is a stunt woman named Joanna Bennett. And she's been a stunt woman for Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, and even Aquaman. So, like I said, I don't know if the character itself is a woman, but the warrior is badass.
I thought it was like a dude with like dreads. That's what I thought, but it could be a chick, girl.
Yeah. So, and proven to be one of the highlights of this episode and show so far. And then, so they get the train, get the spice, and we actually a scene that I think will come back to the present day is they got all the pikes laid out. And, they're like, oh, you can't, what are you doing? You're transferring spice, and, what spice look like? And then they actually drop the container, it pops out, and he's like, looks like that. So basically we see the first scene of Boba actually delegating what's going on. He's telling them that, well, the reason why they thought they were shooting at the Tuscans because we were told that they're savage warriors and they were going to attack us. So that's why we shot first. Which wasn't the case, obviously. And Boba's like, well, you're going through the Dune Sea is their ancestral land. If you want to come here, you got to pay a tax, and no harm will come to you as long as you pay that tax. But for any death that you guys cause, it'll be repaid tenfold. So I think this is a first sign that, and they make that deal. This is the first sign if you see Boba as being a leader, kind of like a crime lord in a way. And I think this will eventually lead to the Tuscans coming back as his basically his army if a big battle for power happens later in the episode, in my opinion. I don't know. That's
yeah, no, it makes sense. It's definitely building to that. I mean, when you have one story here and how he got there. I'm down with it.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see a Tuscan Raider unmasked?
That's been a big question. And one of the questions we actually got was, and I'm coming back to the Manda show. One of the questions we got was one of the people actually said that another Star Wars podcast thinks that and he said the chief, but I don't know if he was going to go with a warrior, but that is a woman, and maybe that's what kept him there 5 years. I don't know. I think it would be cool, but then at the same time, I wouldn't want that because we already got an unmasked Boba Fett. I think it'd be cool to not see them, as cool as it would be to finally see if they are human or whatever. It's that same like Yoda. Like, do we need to know Yoda's species? And I don't think so. I like to have a little bit of the mystery, but at the same time, if they did it the way Favreau and Filoni and everybody running these particular shows, in my opinion, have done everything right.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if they unmasked a Tuscan, it would be done correctly.
Or like a half unmasked, like Mace Windu cuts off half their face, and then
when he comes back, right?
Yeah.
That's still a possibility. We'll see, but
yeah,
so in ways I would, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm kind of worried that I know it's like a short season, like what, 7 episodes?
7, yeah.
7 episodes, 5 left, and we don't have the big baddie yet.
Yeah, I think that'll come in the middle still.
I just want like a nice build up.
Do you have an opinion on who you think the big bad would be? Would it be somebody we've been introduced to before, or somebody new?
What I don't know all the comics and cartoons, but I know there's a blue guy with a big hat that people are talking about.
Cad Bane.
Yeah, people are. I've seen a lot of Cad Bane on the internet.
Yeah, that was one of my theories, not theories, but one of the characters I'd like to see really bad. I think him and Cad Bane and Bosk were my 2 most anticipated characters to be revealed. So I would like
Cad
to see
Bane for the whole like Western gunslinger would be a perfect matchup. That would be a good one.
Who is Cad Bane? If it's not too long to explain.
Oh, I'll do it real quick. Oh, go ahead. Do you know that?
No,
go ahead.
you go ahead.
Yeah. So Cad Bane is pretty much the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy. He went toe to toe with many Jedi and came out victorious. He outsmarted a lot of people too. He also, when they introduced Boba as a teenager in Clone Wars, he actually they had little entanglements at times, and there's even a big deleted scene where they fought, and in that story, Cad Bane is the one that dented Boba's helmet in the fight, but that was never seen. Cad Bane came back in Bad Batch, and him and Fennec Chan went toe to toe in one of the coolest animated hand-to-hand fights. As much as I didn't really care for the show, that was probably the highlight of that show. So he's just a badass bounty hunter. Some thinks that he's even like the most notorious bounty hunter over Boba Fett. So it would be cool to see them together, and especially rivaling against each other.
That sounds cool.
It's like Johnny Ringo meets the Green Goblin.
Yeah, pretty much. Tombstone, bro.
I don't know.
No, but he's really cool. And a cool thing, another Disney tie-in, is that he's voiced by Corey Burton, who we mentioned does the voice for Count Dooku, and also does the voice for the ghost host in the Haunted Mansion Holiday. So it'd be cool to have him back as the voice for Cad Bane, I think. So
yeah, because
I have another.
It'd be tough to be a live face character for him. He's very alien looking.
Yeah, and we see the alien race in the original Cantina in A New Hope. So it's like that traditional alien sketch looking alien that a lot of people had in the 50s and 60s, but he's blue with big red eyes. So very cool character though.
Introduce him in the last episode, and then he kills Boba, and then Mace Windu pops up from behind and kills him, and then the show just ends.
This party's over.
Cad Bane kill Boba. You better have more Cad Bane in the pipes. That's what I'm
saying. Yeah, absolutely. Then going back to I think we'll end almost here, but going back to where he gets a gappy stick, he presents it to the chief. It apparently is the proper stick that they need. So he even head nods to the warrior, and the ghost takes off. Oh, before he opens up his little compact box, and the lizard flies back out of Boba's nose into the box. So I was like, oh, he doesn't even get to keep the lizard in his brain, but that's good. So at the time, they take the stick to I don't say like a blacksmith, but pretty much the weapon maker. But at this time, then they honor Boba with his robes, and which that whole scene was pretty cool. Very samurai feel to it, the way they did the robes. And then once he has his robes, they take him back. And not only is the guy kind of preparing the weapon, but he's teaching Boba. So it's like they're working together, and Boba's not only gifted, but he's doing the ceremony of making his weapon, which was really cool, I thought. Makes a proper weapon. Then we get to Ryan's High School Musical dance number at the campfire. But like I said, I love this scene. I might have even teared up a little bit. And this is, I don't know. I'm real sensitive and have issues, but I thought the scene was awesome. We all know that Timora Morrison, who plays Boba Fett, is of a Maori tribe. It's a Islander tribe. In the deep in the islands around Australia.
He's an island boy.
Yeah, pretty much. And they have a lot of deep traditions and ceremonial ceremonies. So to me, and if you watch the gallery from season 2, you actually see him doing what's known as a Haka dance. And a lot of it's like a dance of like either blessing the set, blessing, celebrating. You'll see like a lot of Islanders do this. Like Aquaman, they did a Haka at the world premiere, and it's really cool to see. You see a lot of rugby teams doing it to honor who they just played. A lot of New Zealand and Australia hockey teams, so it really had that feel to it. So I don't know. I love this scene. You see him and the warrior doing the motions, and one Tuscan came up, and another, and I thought it was a hell of a scene, and it was a great way to end it. And really looking forward to the next episode.
We're all in this together.
Now I can't see Tuscans without thinking of High School Musical. Thank you, Ryan.
That's the only High School Musical I know, and that's from the DCA live show that they used to have. It's an earworm.
Very cool. So
there's one other character I wanted to mention that we didn't really touch on, and that was the champion of the Boba cousins, or no, the Jabba cousins. That
yeah. How we not talk about him?
I was calling him Chewbacca Super Shredder.
Yeah, and that's I briefly mentioned him, and we can talk about that whole scene because that was amazing.
Does he have a name?
Black Chrysanthemum.
Oh, dope!
Right?
Yeah,
that's what I didn't know who it was either. And then my cousin texted me, was like, "Yo, Black Chrysanthemum." I'm like, "Who?"
Yeah, and like I said, he was first seen in the Marvel comics, the Darth Vader line that came out around 2016, 2017. And he has a lot of interactions with. Have you guys heard of Dr. Aphra? She's a character that was also introduced in those same comics.
I'm aware she has her own comic line as well.
Yeah, and there's rumors that they might eventually make a show about her. And one of the fan favorites is Chloe Bennett from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to play her.
Yeah,
but a few things that I learned from because I have the comics and. That he was introduced, and I just totally forgot about him. So I want to reach back into that and shout out to Chad, co-host from our Mando show, because he was sending us like those comics are going for like hundreds of dollars on eBay right now because people are loving this Wookiee, and rightfully so. I mean, the way he came out just badass and menacing, and him and Boba Fett know each other. They both worked for Jabba at some point.
That's a hot toy I want right there.
Yeah,
Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
Once second they drop that, I'll pre-order it and wait 3 years for it to come out.
But he's supposed to, and quick little backstory that I know from, and this is a lot of it from Chad, was there's a scar on his face, and that scar was actually caused by Obi-Wan Kenobi. While, like I said, he worked for Jabba, not Obi-Wan, Black Chrysanthemum. So he was sent to the Lars farm because they were moisture farmers, and Jabba was putting a tax on the moisture farm. So he went to go there to ruffle them up, and Obi-Wan, kind of keeping his eye on Luke, kind of got in the way and fought him, causing that scar on his face. So nice little backstory there. But hopefully we definitely see more of him because he looked amazing.
You have to see more of it. I don't think they can just do that and not show him again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then with the Hutts, did they specify the name? Like that wasn't Zero the Hutt, the female one, was it?
No, apparently these are just unknown. They didn't have it. They weren't named at all, but just the fact that they were just Jabba's cousins.
Yeah.
And decided to lay claim to the territory. There should be one more main Hutt from Legends that I don't know his name right now, but that was really cool because I mean the first 2 episodes were like, oh, we didn't see your litter coming, we didn't see you carried, and you see why they get carried, and we're cracking up on how the thing was bowing because
you could definitely see some of those guys stressing while they were sitting there talking. It was funny.
There's that one guy in the front, like he's kept rearranging, like, oh my god.
I also would have expected twice as many people to carry Hutts. Multiple Hutts.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't know who's on the back or the sides, but
well, I'm sitting here in my head trying to do the math on how much they weigh each. I'm like, there was about 10 guys carrying them. You figure each one could probably manage 150 pounds each for that sort of stretch. Maybe.
Yeah.
So that's 1,500 pounds. So it's 750 pounds each. I guess that sounds about accurate.
Yeah, that's a lot of Hutt.
How much does let's see.
Are you Googling?
Yep.
And of course, I love seeing. That whole scene was really cool, and I'm glad we got to see the Hutts. And like I said, I want to get more Black Chrysanthemum. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, so apparently Jabba the Hutt is 3,000 pounds.
Oh.
Well, then those guys are really strong.
Yeah. Hopefully that thing has a height like semi hydro or like hover. Some kind of hover.
Specific. This website says he's 2,994 pounds.
Wow.
If you really wanted to know.
Yeah.
So times 2.
Save that for a future trivia night.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Oh, you should. Yeah, that's a good one. Brought to you.
No, of course, I love seeing the RX droid. In any tie-ins to like Star Tours or Disneyland.
Yeah,
I saw
itself
that.
is pretty cool. So, you guys, any other thoughts on this episode, or
it was good? I liked it.
You like where the show's going so far?
Yeah, I wish they kind of just like did what episode 1 to 4 is the flashback, and then 4 to 8 is the new stuff. But it is what it is.
I don't know if I'd like it that split, but it would be nice if they were to like do a full episode of one and then maybe a full of the other. And then, hopefully I'm hoping at some point before episode 5, we're done with the flashbacks. And with the pacing of the flashbacks, it seems that we should be. I mean, now he's part of the tribe, he's earned his stripes. In my mind, all that's left is for him to leave to go find his armor, and we know where that goes.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I love the flashback, and I think this might be the end, at least of the Tuscans, until maybe they show up at present time. So, and if that's the case, then these flashbacks I think were brilliant. So, I love where the show's going. I'm really excited for it. So to see what's coming up. I mean, I'm staying up till midnight when I got to wake up early in the morning, just because I'm that excited to see it. And I haven't done that really since I did that all of Mando, a few of the Marvel shows. I think I did that for the finale of Loki and Hawkeye. But yeah, I'm excited. I love it. So can't wait till the next one. So I guess we'll
can't wait to talk with y'all about it too. I'll definitely get two watches in on the next one.
Yeah, so absolutely. So for everybody watching, hope you guys are enjoying the show. Hope you're enjoying our reactions to this. Definitely comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we will see you next week. We don't really have a sign off yet for this, but couldn't have said it better. So
or this.
Like a bantha.
Yeah.
Love that scene. Oh my,
such a good meme.
And I didn't even really, and I don't know if you saw that on the Mando show. I made the one with the riding dirty with the sunglasses on Boba.
Maybe
So-
I don't know. I saw a lot of memes.
Yeah, and you know what? I could have talked about the whole montage, bike montage for longer, but this show would be probably an hour just talking about that. So that's why I cut that part out. But that was a great scene and love that. So see you guys next week and with more Book of Boba Fett.